Hello and welcome guys, and welcome to this short vlog. And yes, of late there has been a lot of discussion regarding the justification in the MCQs, whether it is to be given or not in your CMA examination. Now there has been a lot of videos, there has been a lot of discussion on the social media whether justification is required to be written in your MCQs or not. Guys, there is no official communication from the institute whether when the question doesn't ask for any justification, whether it is necessary to give the justification or not. If the MCQs are asking for a justification, then there is no brainer that justification is required to be given. But the cases where justification is not required to be given, the case where question is silent about the MCQs and still the question is for 2 marks for each MCQ, then the doubt is whether justification is required to be given or not. In this particular video, I'm going to delve into this particular concept and offer my views, my opinion to you regarding whether justification is required to be given or not. But before that, I'm going to discuss some interesting ways of attempting or guessing MCQs. Guys, MCQs form an essential element of your examination pattern, and yes, up to 30 marks in your examination will be for the MCQs. MCQs come in theoretical as well as practical context in the examination. So you need to attempt the MCQs. Now the question arises, sir, in absence of negative marking, so the bright line is that there is no negative marking. So sometimes we need to do some guesswork in the MCQs because we cannot afford to leave any of the MCQ because there's no negative marking. Of course, you have to attempt all the MCQs for sure. And why only MCQs? I would recommend all my students to attempt all the questions which are there, irrespective of whether they know about the question or not. You should attempt all the questions which are coming in the examination. There is no doubt about it, including the MCQs. Now the question is, sir, how to guess out of A, B, C, D, what is the correct answer if we don't know the answer. So guys, in this particular session, I'm going to tell you some scientific techniques, some techniques which are not just fluke. They are not just tukkas, but they are scientific way of choosing the correct option when you are not aware about the option. There are some scientific ways of doing it. It's not 100% correct. Let me give this disclaimer. It will not always be correct, the techniques which I'm going to give you now, but in say 80 to 90% of the cases, this technique of guesswork in your MCQs will prove to be really successful. So yes, with these two agendas in my mind, number one, how to attempt MCQs, number two, whether justification is required to be given or not, let's start this particular video. Alright, so MCQs are categorized into two parts. Number one, the MCQs which you are aware about. As soon as you read an MCQ, you would be thinking about that topic. You will instantly be remembered for the chapter in which this MCQ had come. You will be reminded of the chapter as well. You will be reminded of the portion of the paper, the portion of the book where this MCQ was there, and from where it is, and you'll instantly. So there's a channel to it, right? You first of all you be reminded of the topic from which this MCQ is there. Then that topic will lead you to the chapter, and then you'll be able to answer that particular MCQ. So there's a pattern, this is a chain which you need to follow in the examination, and you'll be very sure about some of the MCQs. So the MCQs which you are sure about, I'm not going to talk about those MCQs in this particular video because you are already sure about. So my help is not required. My help or my scientific techniques will be helpful in the cases where you are not aware about the MCQs. So you try to figure out which topic is this MCQ from, and you could figure it out, and you try to figure out the chapter as well, and you might be able to figure it out, but you do not know the exact answer. A, B, C, D, 4 options are given in front of you, but you're not sure which is the correct answer. Now you have to play on your pure guesswork. This is all guesswork. Sir, can a scientific method be there for guessing some answer? Yes, guys. Proven scientific techniques are there to even do the guesswork, to ensure that in 80 to 90% of the time your guess is correct. Pure scientific techniques are there. So I'm going to talk about these scientific techniques where guesswork is going to result into assurance that your 80 to 90% of chances are there, probability is there that your answer is going to be correct out of A, B, C, D, whatever you choose out of the guesswork technique which I am going to suggest, your answer is going to be correct. Yes, there is a scientific technique to it. What is that scientific technique? Alright, so this is the scientific technique of doing an effective guesswork. And guys, I have personally tried all of these methods in my examination and they have proved to be correct. So they will prove to be correct in your case. Also, a disclaimer, this is not a 100% guarantee of accuracy of your answers, but 80 to 90% of the time your guesswork will be correct if you follow this pattern or this technique. So this is my 4-step method of guessing any MCQ which you are not aware about. So first of all, complete those MCQs which you are absolutely confident about. Just write the answers of those MCQs first, because if you enter into this guesswork, then you are bound to get confused. That can impact your MCQs which you are aware about. Okay, so first complete those MCQs which you are absolutely confident about, and then get on to this technique of of guesswork. Okay, step number 1 is the elimination method, and this is by far the most successful method to attempt the MCQs where you are not aware about the answer. Okay, so eliminate those options which you are very sure that this cannot be the answer. A, B, C, D. C cannot be the answer for sure. The answer has to be between A, B and D. So eliminate all those options which you are very sure of, very confident of that this cannot be the answer. This is the first step that you need to do while doing the guesswork. Elimination method. Eliminate those options where you are very confident that this cannot be the answer for sure. I don't know the right answer, but I exactly know that this option is the incorrect option. So eliminate the incorrect options first. Second technique, eliminate the extreme values, which means that if you've been given 4 options, right? If you have 4 options are 2 is an option, 4 is an option, 3 is an option, and 16 is the option. A, B, C, D. 4 options are there. So guys, more likely than not, 16 cannot be the answer. Eliminate 16. Extreme values, which means the values which are extremely high or extremely low, those values most likely will not be the answer. Again, I'm reiterating again. This technique is 80 to 90% correct, not 100% correct. But there are 80 to 90% chances that extreme values is not going to be your answer in the MCQ. So eliminate the extreme values, the values which are at the higher end or at a very, very lower end, extreme values, those are to be eliminated. That cannot be your answer. So suppose you are very sure that 4 is not the answer. Now you also are sure that extreme value cannot be the answer, so 16 is not the answer. So now you have to choose between only 2 options, 2 and 3. So your probability of success, your chance of success increases. The whole idea of elimination method is to increase your chances of success. So extreme values are absolutely to be eliminated while doing the guesswork. The third scientific technique is that the answer has to be amongst some similar values. So if there are similar values which are given in your options, then answer has to be amongst those similar values. If you have similar options, similar means which look alike, right? If you have similar options in your answers, that is going to be your answer for sure. One of them, okay. So I'll give you an example. Suppose you have in your business valuation, in your CMA final, you have option A. You might need to require you might need to calculate the average cost function. Okay, I'm just giving an example. Average cost function you need to calculate. First option is 2x square plus 28. Second option is 2x square minus 28. Third option is 300 plus 58. Fourth option is 550x cube minus 26. So these are the 4 options which you have, right? You are absolutely clueless what is the answer. Many students do this mistake. They leave economic efficiency chapter. So maybe you have left the economic efficiency chapter and you absolutely have no clue what will be the answer. Elimination technique also doesn't work because you are clueless what is the answer. You are not able to compute the answer. So guys, more likely than not, the answer will be amongst these 2 options which are similar. One of them. So pick any one of them. Most likely than not, your answer will be amongst one of them. The similar answers, similar values, your answer will be amongst one of them. Because, just understand the psychology of an examiner. The examiner is trying to confuse you. An examiner is going to give you very close options of the correct option. So that even if you reach to the correct, suppose this is the correct answer and you have reached to this answer, but if this answer is also there in your options, then you are going to get confused that it's just a matter of minus and plus, right? Let me recheck my answer. You'll get confused. So if there are similar values which you can see, then one of these values has to be the answer, more likely than not. So that is the fourth scientific technique of attempting guesswork in the MCQs. And last but not all the least, I have personally in all three examinations, CA, CS, CMA, wherever applicable, wherever there were MCQs, okay, I have personally felt that whatever was my first guess, soon as I saw the four options, whatever my brain clicked, or the thing that got stuck in my brain first, or my eyes got glued to one of the options first. So soon as I saw this particular riddle, my eyes were glued on option B. Whatever is your first guess is the correct guess, more often than not, because your mind gives you waves, gives you signal, because your subconscious mind has got everything which you've studied in past, right? Is that it doesn't come to the forefront. So mind gives you signal, your subconscious mind gives you signal that this is the correct answer. So the first guess, the first answer which you think is correct is usually the correct answer. So while you are guessing the answers, of course you'll analyze the other three as well, but if you are absolutely confused that no, I'm not able to guess what is the correct answer, stick around with your first guess. Whatever is your first guess will be the correct answer, more likely than not. So don't get bewildered by this thought that, sir, you are training us on how to give flukes, tukkas in the examination. No guys, these are not tukkas. These are some scientific techniques which are useful. And guys, we are examinees, right? At any cost we need to fulfill our goal of qualifying the examination. We are not cheating, right? We are not cheating. We are not copying from some other's book, or we are not copying from a book of the institute or something like that. We are not doing any cheating. Yes, it's practically impossible to remember each and everything because the course is so vast, the course is so enormous that practically it's impossible to cover every part and remember it too, right? So some techniques, if they do some favor to us, some brain techniques, I would call them as brain techniques, if they do some favor for us, why not? Why not? And it has worked for me. I'm very sure it will work for you as well. So these are my 4-step technique of guessing on the MCQs, and they will definitely prove to be useful for all of you. And now comes the last part of the controversy, whether justification is required to be given or not. No official communication from the institute is there, whether if the question is silent about the justification, whether the student is required to give the justification or not. Guys, let me be very clear at this point in time. If it's a 2-mark question, then the time which is allocated for you to attempt this question is 3.6 minutes. The time which is allocated for you to attempt this question is 3.6 minutes. How is it computed? We have 180 minutes total to get the examination, 100 marks paper. So 1.8 minutes per mark. So if it's a 2 marks question, then you have 3.6 minutes, almost 4 minutes to attempt that particular part. Almost 4 minutes. So tell me something. Even if justification is not required, specifically it is not said that give justification, don't you think that you should give justification? Because the marks warrant us to do so. Even a 1-mark question is to be attempted in 2 minutes. So according to my view, let's play it safe. Let's give justification to every theoretical and practical question, MCQ, which is given in the examination. Justification would mean, in case of theoretical MCQs, give 1 or 2 line of justification, just explain that particular provision, just explain that particular part of the theoretical portion. For example, if question is asking you which section is cost audit applicable, you say section 148 subsection 2 is the section where cost audit is applicable to all the people who are covered under table A and B category, who are meeting the threshold limit. Just write a line of justification along with your chosen option. Don't just write the option and leave the question. In case of practical question, there is no choice but to give your workings absolutely clearly. Give your workings very clearly as a part of your answer. maybe on one sheet you attempt only 2 MCQs, one after the other, only 2 MCQs per sheet, no problems at all. But in your practical questions, just write the justification, and the justification is your workings. Workings is your justification. No other justification is required to be given. So according to my view, and it's just a view, you might prefer to differ, but according to my view, let's not take chances. Let's give justification to each and every MCQ. Guys, it is called for, right? The kind of marks which is given to MCQs, it is actually called for. So I think justification you must write in absence of any clarification from the institute. It's our responsibility and duty to write the justification of the MCQs. I hope that the techniques which we had seen over here work for you as they have worked for me in my examination, in my professional pursuit. And yes, may the upcoming examination be really successful for all of you, and may you attempt the paper well, MCQs you do well, and attain good marks in your examination. On that positive note, all the very best and happy studying.